What's going on, Rhode Island? Welcome back to another episode of the Park Podcast here at the Historic Park Theater and Event Center. I'm your host, Ed Brady, and I'm with two close friends. And what we're trying to do here on the Park Podcast is just tell stories of hope, things that are going on in the community. We all kind of look at the bad news, right? We see the bad in the world. But today, like many of the guests that we've had prior, we're going to talk about the good. And tonight's kind of primary episode, I'm here with the Ballettos, two prominent people throughout the community that not only fight in the ring or in the cage, they fight in life, and they continue to be an inspiration here in Rhode Island, and I'm very, very, very happy to have you both on, and I appreciate you both being on today.
Anything for you, brother.
Thanks, guys. So, now fighter, both boxing, MMA, obviously. Your father, for those that don't know the story, he was on the Contender. He was at the highest level of the sport, and he's been there. He's been in that arena, and I'm sure as a father, did you want your children to fight? Was that a thought process in your mind, or here we are today?
That wasn't the plan.
Yeah, as a
He's
father.
Full of shit. He said, if you don't knock this guy out, you don't eat tonight.
Oh yeah,
That's
I like
what
that.
He used to tell us. Yeah?
I like that.
He said, you'll lose your bedroom.
And if he doesn't eat his dinner, he gets his face in it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
That too. I never had that problem. I ate it.
How did you start? The pie?
Start with
Fighting.
With fighting. I just watching Dad do it, growing up, and my son, I'm already seeing, just from seeing me do it, is already taking interest and running around beating us all up. He's he's already got his eyes on it. It's just it seems to be a generational thing with our family.
You emulate Dad, right? We all
Yeah.
want to be like our parents. And
Right.
like
Dad's
our
always your superhero, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's how you know you had a good dad.
Absolutely.
They did their job right.
And I know you're just coming off a fight, another victory. When do you plan to fight again? Are you training? Are you?
Yeah, I'm always training, and those who know training well know best. It's hard. It's you're constantly trying to stay healthy, trying to battle injury, and stay in training, stay in the gym. It's funny, all these guys, having a gym myself now, and they all come in with the same mindset. Oh, I'm going to train 5 days a week, 3 hours a day. I'm going to train hard. I got to tell them, slow down.
Balance, right?
Right? Because the biggest thing is being able to train correctly. You strengthen yourself up so you can slowly ramp up how much you're able to train. Some people do it too much too fast. They either hurt themselves or they decide, this sucks, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing is keeping yourself in that flow zone, keeping a steady training regimen so that you don't have to suffer injuries and take time off and all that.
Yep. I like it. I mean, that's advice even for anyone that wants to get
anybody
back in the gym, right?
Anybody that wants to work out in general. Sometimes we don't accept our own limitations, and our ego gets the best of us, and we try to push a little too fast, too hard. You gotta step on the gas lightly.
We've spoke on ego in past conversations on this podcast, and how as we're younger in the process, kind of ego drives us, right? And ego wants to propel us to, and it gets us out of bed. It gets us going. We want to show what we're capable of, but at the same time, it can be a detriment, right?
Yeah, sometimes the ego is a good thing.
Yeah, and sometimes it's bad.
But the difference between boxing and MMA, like I was telling you earlier, is you're training for boxing, and you get in there and you do your sparring. You're sparring like at full speed or close to it, and then with MMA, you can't train as if it's a real fight, because you can't throw elbows, you can't throw knees, and you can't throw them the right way, and that makes it more difficult. And the hardest part to get through a training camp for him is getting through one without getting an injury.
Yeah,
it's the struggle of all fighters. I mean, training's evolved a lot since like the earlier days of the sport, which wasn't that long ago. Still a relatively new sport in comparison to others. But cards were always labeled subjects to change, right? Back when they did those earlier cards at CES and even UFC. They'd plan to have one guy on the card, and that guy would change because he got hurt. The next guy would get hurt, and they'd change that guy. Then the other guy got hurt. You end up with a completely different card than you started with. And over time, the sport's evolving, and coaches and gyms are catching on to how to train more safely. But the safer we train, the more we're getting away from real combat training and getting that live feel, to simulate what you're going to do in a real fight.
So you got to have that perfect balance,
Yeah.
just like life. You have to have you try to give
All
yourself
about
the
balance.
perfect balance with everything.
That's spot on, right? Because even the training that you're going through and that you went through when you were getting ready for a fight, that mentality, that mindset transcends in life, right? It transcends in business. Now as a small business owner here in Cranston and having your own gym in construction, and how do you figure out a way to continue to keep finding solutions and fight through the tough times, right?
You're
And
right.
obviously you're a prime example. I mean, you were dealt a pretty bad card, pretty bad hand, but you're not making excuses. You're not going, why me? You're actually motivating this entire state to go, well, if he can get up every day and find a way to be successful, if he can find a way to work through this grind of
He's
life.
making the rest of us look bad.
Yeah, we're like, calm down over there, Gary. Right? No, but it's
Can you just
inspiring, man.
complain once?
I know.
Thank you for saying that.
But how do you keep that spirit so
I
positive?
don't know why, but I don't look at myself like that. I just look at this is what I have to work with, and this I'm going to do the best I can every day.
Yep.
And I'm happy every day, and I wake up happy, and I always have a large agenda of things to get done in the day, and if I don't put them in my planner, I'll forget. So I'm busy. Business is good.
Yep, that's good.
Most important, my kids are all doing great, and that's what we live for.
It's incredible, right? The power of the mind.
Of course.
Right? What just a perspective and a mindset can do to change everything. No matter what you think's going on around you, how bad you think you got it, what card you've been dealt, just one different angle you look at it from changes it all. You know, just like that. And that's probably the biggest thing I learned. Watching Pops over here, accomplish all the, get through all the hurdles he's had.
Sure.
Even before the injury, but more so now.
Because we're all going to have days where we get knocked down, right?
Yeah.
Where
we get up again.
You have to, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have to, especially as I'm embarking, and obviously your beautiful child's here, and you're with one of your children.
Yeah.
That's an extra motivating
You
factor,
ready?
isn't it?
You ready, Daddy?
Oh my
huh?
God! I mean, just
It's
leaving
incredible,
those
isn't it?
trials and tribulations of the arena of life. When I get home and I put the baby in my arms,
Yeah.
oh, it's just clarity of mind, right? And
Yeah.
I can go at it again.
Feels like
the next
nothing else
day,
in the world
right?
matters, right?
No, that's
It's
it.
incredible.
That's it.
And congratulations on your
Yeah,
new baby.
seriously,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Yeah, baby
Beautiful.
Matt.
Congratulations
Thank you for
on
the gift.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Congratulations on this place.
Thanks, man.
I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
What do you have, like 25 restaurants now?
It's interesting. Like there was just so much opportunity coming out of this pandemic.
Yeah,
but
right.
one thing that I didn't, account for is just because it's an opportunity, you still have to find teammates to
Yes.
kind of
The right
staff
people
all these,
around
and
you makes all
certainly
the difference.
Can't
Yeah.
project or predict
I
a
agree.
rainstorm that's
I
gonna
agree.
blow through it. And at times, I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't get emotional and cry and even bring me to my knees from when that was happening, and kind of just ask God and ask a higher power, like, where is the next path? How do we get those doors
Right.
back open? But finding a team, probably just like training through a fight, that
Yeah.
rallies you, that gets you back up,
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of picks you up where you need to be picked up. The doors are back open, so
Yeah.
we're certainly not out of the storm, but
Sure.
we're driving forward. We're still
Right.
continuing forward because this project wasn't a project for money. It was a project for this community, a labor of love,
Right.
and it takes a community to keep it going. So,
It does.
my lasting message, I guess, with what I went through is, and I'm sure with what you went through and your trials and tribulations at times of this process, you haven't won every fight. You're not undefeated. What does loss teach you
Right.
when you go down,
Well,
right?
Loss teaches me that it's okay to not win every time, right?
Yeah.
Because realistically, that kind of pressure makes whatever you're doing unenjoyable right off
Sure.
the bat, right? But it only becomes not okay when you don't get back up.
Yep.
And you don't re-prepare yourself to fix what went wrong before and accomplish what you're going to get to the next
Right.
step.
Yep.
Right.
If you haven't lost, you haven't learned.
Yeah,
Right.
of course. Do you have a most memorable fight?
Myself?
Winner or losing? Yeah, like
Oh,
when,
yeah. I have a lot of them.
Which one comes to mind today?
My world title fighting for the IBU world title was 2003 against Johnny Walker. It only lasted one round, but I just felt like more prepared in that fight than any other fight. Maybe because it was a title fight, and I trained and made sure I was ready. But the best part about it was my opponent fell through the ropes and landed on the commentator's laps. And Vinny Paz was commentating that night.
Oh, that's great.
So we'll never forget that moment.
Yep. Yep.
You know.
How about yourself?
I think that fight with Sharif Jones, right? If you look back at that one, it was back in October of 2017, I believe. But the week leading into the weight cut, leading up to the fight, I got sick. I had the flu, and I had it really bad. And I haven't had the flu in like at least 5 years prior to that, right? So, as I was getting sick, I think it took me a while to even accept that, oh man, I'm getting sick.
Yeah.
So I still went through with the fight.
Yep.
I didn't like to cancel fights, so I fought, and before the bell even rang, I was seeing 3 of them out there.
Yeah.
They said, hit the one in the middle.
Yeah.
But I remember in the first round, having the better of them still. But I spent a ton of energy, especially toward the end of the round. If you ever seen the fight, I go for a submission on his leg, and
I was there.
I squeezed everything I had for it, right? Because I knew I had it in there good. Yep. This kid's legs were like tree trunks, so strong. And we were right by his corner, and they were telling him 10 seconds left, just hang on. Yep. And he survived it. He made it through.
Special guest.
And special guest.
Yeah.
And I remember the bell ringing, and me rolling over, looking up at the ceiling, going, no, because I knew I had nothing left in the tank.
Sure.
And so going into the second round, I pulled one of the playing cards from Rocky 3, where he just taunts him a little bit, forces him to give you a beating.
Yeah.
And he threw everything in the kitchen sink, and I just had to weather it, because I knew I could, if I can get him tired too.
Yeah.
If I can get him to spend that same kind of energy, that'll re-level the playing field.
Sure.
And then I could let the technique and the knowledge, the experience take over. And I ended up finishing the fight with the knees and got the win.
That was
but
a great fight.
Yeah, that fight though, mentally going through that, knowing you got nothing left to give, and you keep
Finding a new
going.
strategy.
You got almost 10 minutes left in this fight. Rethinking your strategy. Right? Look at those goosebumps.
Yeah, man, it's real, because that's life.
That's
right?
life.
And you got to keep finding ways to pivot and re-strategize.
Things don't always go according to plan. You got to be able to roll with the punches.
And strategy going into a fight of not letting someone know that you have the flu, or not letting someone know that you're injured, right? You have to kind of go in, and there might be times where our fans or people or your fans well, that wasn't everything. Well, they don't know that you were battling through a week of or something going on.
It's funny. The commentators and some fans would speculate. He doesn't look himself tonight. He looks slow. He looks sluggish.
Sure.
And as fans, like even watching sports, you never really consider that there could be something wrong with the athlete, right? Watching football or something like that. They had a bad game today. He didn't play. You never know what they're actually dealing with.
Because we watch them, we think they're superhuman.
Yeah,
right?
We forget that they're. We're all people.
Yeah.
We're all flesh and blood, and we all bruise the same way.
Sure, absolutely. Special kind of mentality.
Yeah,
a fighter.
Yeah. It's rare to go into a fight and not have some kind of injury. There's always something that's bothering you.
Of course.
I don't remember a fight where everything was just right,
Even in life, right? Like there's always something that's bothering us, or something that's not going perfect. Social media, like podcasts we're on right now, we all put out the best version of ourselves, right? We're showing our brand at the most highest level, but we're not showing the struggle of the flu and us kind of in bed trying to get up for that fight, or me swimming out with our team, the water to get it out of the building.
There's no, to me, there's no such thing as physically tough.
Yep.
Right. Anybody can hurt anybody. Anybody's strong enough to do whatever they put their mind to doing if they really want to accomplish it. But there's only such thing as mentally tough.
Sure.
Right. No, it doesn't always come in the form of physical strength. It comes from overcoming adversity and whatever you're trying to do. Life is hard.
Yep.
You're going to get kicked on your ass sometimes, and your heart's going to hurt sometimes when you things don't go your way, and but retraining your mind to be able to move with it and adapt and get to the next thing. Adaptability is the biggest, I think, skill to have navigating life.
I can't imagine there's a better feeling too than when that final bell rings and you gave your best effort, win or loss,
Yeah.
right? And you
It's
know
over.
it's over, yeah, right.
It's
And
a great
and hearing the crowd kind of and
Great.
yeah, right. Endorphins,
Yeah.
endorphins, and that's kind of similarly what drives me in anything, right? It's never been for me about money. Money has never been my driving factor. It's about making a difference in the communities that we're going into and each investment that we're making.
Right.
You helped me buy my first house after I was a promoter, right?
Yeah.
And at the time, that was a lot of money to me. I think it was 165,000 in
Yeah.
Edgewood, and it was a big moment for me. But
Yeah.
that's life, right? Helping
Right.
others, giving what you can.
Yep.
You're training people every day
Right.
to adjust that mindset. Not only become physically improvement, but stronger here, so
Yeah.
that they can navigate and grind
Yep.
through this thing that we call life, right?
That's
so,
right.
yeah, I love it. What should we expect? What's coming? Can you tell me a little bit about your business endeavors, or
Yeah,
what?
so we have the gym open in Cranston. It's right on the corner of Park Ave and Budlong Road, and it's a newer space. We've just finishing up renovations with it, and it's going really well. We have the best community of people in there, and that's what I pride myself on with that place, is creating an atmosphere and a community of people that, they're not everybody's there to be a fighter.
Yeah.
Some people, that might be their goal. Some people are just looking for an alternative exercise, something different, something fun to do. But whatever it is that brings them in, their goals or their aspirations to be a fighter, or just want to lose some weight, that's not what the sales pitch is there. It's joining a community of people, right? Because networking with those people, it makes the difference
Life
for everybody,
a
right?
lot
You
easier.
had a bad day.
Yeah.
I challenge you to try to leave there feeling, not at least a little better than you walked in. It's everybody leaves there with a smile at the end of the night, and
Every one of his members is so nice.
such
Like you.
yeah.
And that's why you should come exercise there.
I'm gonna have to with this baby, right?
You'll
Like
love it.
it takes a lot of energy.
It does.
You'll love
It
it.
does. It's
Absolutely.
You'd fit right in over there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's good. As long as somebody doesn't have a bad attitude, they'll do just fine over there, no matter what their skill level or fitness level is. It's
And that's it. When you're building community, when you're building team, when you want to be around
Right.
people, you want to be around people that
the
uplift
right
you.
people.
That say you can
Right.
get through this training camp, right? The right
Right.
coaching, the right
Yes.
support system that we
Yeah.
all know that we need. And I see that, and obviously in both of you and in your entire family, and those that you've surrounded yourselves around throughout the process. The Birchfields, for me, they've opened a lot of doors through this
Yes.
process of life, and
Yeah.
Jimmy Senior and Junior, obviously, and the entire team at CES, they've opened a lot of doors for a lot of fighters to obviously have a platform and be able to
Right.
make change and open a gym and tell a motivational story. And
Right.
I don't know if you guys want to talk about them in general or just what they've done for the sports here.
They're the only ones in town, and they've always been.
Mhm.
And we love the Birchfields. Gary's scheduled to fight November 17th at Twin River.
Oh,
It's
cool.
a Thursday night
Yeah.
against Pat Casey, who's a very worthy opponent,
Okay.
and then I'll be in the cage. And what else is exciting, with Jimmy Birchfield jumping up and down about, is because my youngest son, Aiden, is boxing. He's only had a couple of amateur fights, but this is for the Rocky Marciano belt.
Very cool.
So this will be in the afternoon on Saturday, November 19th, 2 days after. So Jimmy thinks this is a great opportunity to promote.
Cool. You up for that, champ?
I'm ready.
There you go. I like that.
I'm ready. Yeah,
I remember-
Jimmy's awesome. He does a great job. He runs the show like you feel like you're at a Vegas venue when he
Yeah.
does his card. It's he's so good to us and our family, and I see him go out of his way to treat his fighters and his co-workers, the people who work with him, and he goes out of his way to treat everybody well. And it's admirable.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. Like every holiday or if I was having something that he saw online, a tough day, I would get that voicemail from Senior. That motivational, I had lost a
Yeah.
friend and I got that 4-minute call
That's the stuff I'm
about how
talking
that
about,
friend
yeah.
meant a lot to me. Or
Yeah.
similar, getting a gift from you today, gift revived in my house. They just care. They care about people. And business is not easy. We know that fighters they go through a lot to
You're
get
right.
into that cage and make it happen. But if you're constantly around supportive people, people that want to help grow your brand and grow together, then
Agreed.
possibilities
Takes
are
a
endless
village.
for all of us.
It takes a
It
village.
does.
you
I
know?
think we could
With
have
everything.
some
We only have-
some boxing over there in,
you know?
in that.
I was gonna
Theater,
tell you,
right?
I was gonna
We
tell
could.
you that
Yeah.
we can definitely do a great show here.
Absolutely,
do
they
that,
used to do
absolutely.
big time
Yeah.
theater shows and 1,000 seats in there. You know,
Yeah.
that one at Cranston Stadium was pretty fun. So I think boxing works in
Yeah.
Cranston, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. I guess
We
we'll
shall.
see. Anything else you guys want to talk about while we're here today?
You gotta be a little crazy to be a fighter. You know that?
This is where he's
Yeah.
going.
Absolutely.
Crazy
You
beats
know,
tough.
It's if there's one closing note I'd like to talk about, it's just about people being good to people, like the topic we're there, and closing with that, and reminding everybody that how much you appreciate them and how because of them they're part of your journey and why you've gotten where you've gotten and why you have what you have. When you have a good support system, it makes all the difference, and be well to it, treat each other well.
Yeah.
And don't always have you don't always have to do something with the motive in return. Not everything's a transaction.
Sure.
Do things right by people, and people want to do right back by you. Right? You put genuine energy out into the world, and it'll find its way back to you.
Yeah, amen. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just
There's not enough of that these days.
especially what we've all kind of just fought and navigated through uncontrollables of a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Of COVID. I mean, it divided so many different people and in so many different worlds, and people are keyboard warriors, and we couldn't leave the house. Now more than ever, I think we all kind of need to show through human acts of kindness that
Right.
we're all struggling through the same rippling effects of the multiple years that we've all just endured,
Yep.
and we're all fighting. No one
Yep.
out there right now that I know
Right.
is
Yeah.
is
Yeah, we're all
Man,
fighting
life's easy.
Different
Yeah.
fight. It's all
Right?
a different fight, just
And
a different type
being
of fight.
vulnerable and not being afraid to express
Right.
the fights
Right.
that we're all in. Maybe we can all collectively find solutions together, or make those
Agreed.
fights just a little bit easier as we're
Right.
navigating through
Right.
the process. So that's
It's another we're entering another new era. We're transitioning into a new time again. At post pandemic now.
Sure.
Inflation, all this stuff going on.
yeah,
Times are tough for some people. Look out for those people. Take care of each other, and the good things will come back.
yeah, I love it.
You
I appreciate you both being here today. Admire both of you tremendously. It's great family, great.
feel the same,
Great
brother.
to have you both in my life. So
Same here, Ed. We're proud of everything you're doing,
thank you, sir.
and you are a public figure and a great leader in our community.
Oh, I appreciate
Of
it,
course,
sir.
man. Special
Yeah.
guy.
Right back at you both. So let's keep doing it together, right? Keep
We
rallying
will.
this community
We
together.
will.
I like it. So thank you
That's
for
the way.
everyone for checking out another episode of the Park Podcast here at the Historic Park Theater. Appreciate the Ballettos being on. Like I said, some of the most inspiring people in our community, stories of hope, and I look forward to watching their continued fight and kind of just getting re-inspired every day to get up out of bed and keep going. So thank you to our sponsors, Source Construction, and keep checking us out here at the podcast. We hope we just kind of offer a different perspective and a little bit of hope for you all. So thank you again.